Hello, everyone. My name is Rodney Bursmith, and I'm joined with Tony Mansour from East View Geospatial. I head sales and marketing here at East View, and I've been the executive sponsor of this platform development called EVGeoCloud. We'll go on to the next slide here. What I like to do is just let you know, what are you going to learn? As attendees on this webinar or viewers of it in the future, you're going to learn why your university would want EVGeoCloud, what it does and how it works, and then how to request a 4-week trial. We will also, as you'll see, there's a slide we have frequently asked questions that we've already been getting from users. So we talk about the price, we talk about the data, we talk about some of the things that I'm certain that you all will have questions about. Who is East View? I think most of you know East View, maybe for Russian, Chinese material. Some of you for our geospatial holdings. I mean, we've been selling cartographic materials and other GIS and geospatial data now for 17 years, so we've been in the market for a very long time. What we haven't done on East View Geospatial, which you see here as the second logo, which we do all the time in East View Information Services, is build databases. So EVGeoCloud really is East View Geospatial's first real stake in the ground, where we've built a platform that can house content. And some of that content we will bring to the equation and we'll put in front of you and you can assess it, like high-resolution satellite imagery from Digital Globe or the United States parcel data from CoreLogic. So we will have specific data sets that you're able to subscribe to, Landscan, of course, being probably the first data set. But then there's also data that you have already in your collection. It might be sitting on a DVD. It might be print maps, whatever the case may be. Ultimately, this platform lives to house data that we bring to the table as well as data that you bring to the table. And we have a lot of confidence in that in East View Information Services. So as we get into this, when you see the pricing, when you see the IP-wide authentication, when you see the trialing I guess specifics that we've put in place, you'll recognize, this East View knows how to deal with libraries, with electronic resources, and we do. We have offices all over the world. We're still a small company, but we've been in business for a long time, and we really do know how to serve libraries, and I hope all of you on this call can agree to that.
For more than 20 years, East View Geospatial has delivered a bird's-eye view of the world, so it's no surprise that we're in the cloud. Now, inexpensively access your maps and geospatial data. EVGeoCloud is a new web-based platform for libraries and academic institutions that provides easy online access to your ever-growing catalog of maps and geospatial data. Whether it's your existing catalog of raster and vector geospatial data, or purchasing additional data sets, EVGeoCloud connects users to the resources they need through a single web-based entry point. In fact, EVGeoCloud can transform your stack of flat paper maps or old vector CDs and unlock other inaccessible data, giving them new life.
Say the key advantage of EVGeoCloud is twofold. For the non-GIS user, the ability to access data without having a background in desktop GIS software. And for the GIS user, the ability to locate the data set that they really need, find the part of that data set that they need, and download it without having to sift through large data sets.
EVGeoCloud allows your patrons to easily find and retrieve your vast collection of data sets. Simply log into your portal, add your data sets, and explore the results. EVGeoCloud also provides a secure mechanism for protecting and managing data, freeing up your IT resources. EVGeoCloud expands the value of your data far beyond traditional GIS users, thereby increasing its reach and ultimately enhancing its potential impact. With easy access to expanded data, your organization can soar to new heights with the greatest of ease. Get your free trial today. Visit EVGeoCloud.com or email Eastview to get started. It's time to free your data.
Let's go. So that was the video, talking about the platform. I know it rushes through screenshots and such. Tony, in just a few minutes, will give a very in-depth demonstration. I really only have a couple of more slides that I need to go through, 3 in fact. We launched this just in August. We had a couple of beta participants over the summer, University of Minnesota and University of Florida, which are, featured. They've agreed to do testimonials and make comments, as you saw Ryan do in the video there. So University of Minnesota and University of Florida now have full setup instances of EVGeoCloud, some data that they purchased historically from us at East View Geospatial, some data that they had in their collection that we transformed and mounted onto their cloud. Second bullet point, and this was hammered home by Ryan. So this is IP-wide access. You subscribe to EVGeoCloud, and what you're doing is you're opening access to that portal across your entire university. And notably, it really is for the non-GIS and the GIS-savvy researchers. So you're really bringing content to the entire university that historically has only been available to GIS users. And unfortunately for librarians and institutions, historically, that kind of data, that GIS-specific data, has been acquired or purchased at the departmental level, not at the library level. And so the institution rarely has been able to fully leverage acquisitions that are being made across multiple departments at a university. So EVGeoCloud, really, what we're trying to do is empower librarians to bring that data acquisition collection point as centralized as possible. The kind of data that it will work with is basically everything that is geospatial, raster data, vector data, tabular data. There's download capability, and Ryan from the University of Minnesota spoke about that specifically. That was an aha moment for me personally as we were building this platform, and that was Ryan sharing that even the GIS users that are using ArcSuite or whatever platforms they're using to manipulate geospatial data, they tend to have to wrestle with gigabyte level size data sets. And what EVGeoCloud gives you is the ability to load those gigabytes right to the platform, but for a GIS user to quickly navigate to the area of interest they're interested in and create a custom polygon. It might be 100 square kilometers. It might be 10 square kilometers. It might, in fact, be a whole country level. But to just discreetly pull out the data from the application that they want versus having to wrestle with very, very massive data sets. We also, in this print map scanning, you have a lot of data already in your collection. Much of it out of copyright, open source, ready to be transformed digitally, may already be in raster form, but it's not mounted anywhere that's accessible and viewable by your patrons. So we can, and we've got basically pricing established for it, we scan and crop and mosaic and ortho-rectify and bring, or georeference I should say, and bring it all into the platform for you. And really, actually, I think you'll be surprised by the expenses engaged with the production. And then this point down at the bottom, what we're going to bring to you is a whole panoply of data from maps, print, digital, nautical charts, aeronautical charts, parcel data, digital elevation models, imagery, and there are other things that I could list here, census data, other kind of statistical and tabular data that has some sort of geocoding established with it. All of that really is usable on EVGeoCloud. And then finally, this is a platform, so it's going to go through versions. We're at version 1.0 really right now, and version 2.0 is already under development. Tony's kind of leading that development. And some of the things that we'll be able to do on the second version is uploading shape files or KML files, taking what you've got on your screen, the map extent on your screen, and doing a simple one-click print to PDF or JPEG, which would be, very nice to put graphics and images into research documents and reports. And on-screen annotation so that you can actually annotate that graphic before you send it to PDF and really make that map or that graphic the way you want it. Here's a couple of points from the market. I mentioned Florida and Minnesota. University of Arizona actually very early on, long before we had something called EVGeoCloud, contracted with us to put some vector data, very large scale vector data of Mexico on a platform. And so we did that. And that was before this version that you are going to see now, long before. In fact, some of you have Landscan. You purchase Landscan from us. You access Landscan from the web app. Tony's going to switch to the demo here in a moment. The trial version that you will see has these 4 data types already loaded. So Haiti, large-scale topographic data, Landscan 2011, South Africa 50K vector, and then Hennepin County, Minnesota parcel data. The tour that you'll see from Tony in just a couple minutes actually holds a lot more data, so don't be confused by that. But when you ask for a trial, this is what you'll be accessing. And then the tour itself will focus on basic navigation, adding and removing data sets, how to layer data sets together, downloading the data, viewing a full map sheet. Because, in some cases, what we have in there is not kind of born digital geospatial data. We have Botswana 50K topographic maps. I don't know how many are in the series, but let's say there's 700 in the series. That's 700 printed maps with marginalia, and symbology, and legends, and all of the things that go along with a printed map sheet. We've built this to allow you to not only see the data on a base map, but to zoom in and see a thumbnail of the actual map sheet itself and to download that and to use that in special ways. So that's part of it. And then some basic spatial and raster analysis. And so that's that. We don't want that. We want this. Tony now we'll switch spots here, and Tony is going to give it a demonstration.
Okay, thank you, Rod. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into the demonstration. Rod did a great job of kind of describing all the capabilities, so I'm going to do my best to really show them off. Okay. I'm going to refresh here, so refresh browser. So this is what the instance, your instance of EVGeoCloud will look like when you subscribe. When you have your own instance, we'll have the welcome message will say, welcome to your institution. It will have your logo, and it will be customized in that manner. So we'll go ahead and we'll enter. We have a quick message here. Your map's empty. We want to make it very obvious here. Boom, this is how you can add the data. So this is a simple, we call it it's a simple web application, web mapping application. That we feel people are from all levels of GIS are used to. So people that are using Google Maps to get directions to to a store, all the way to a GIS professional who's running analysis on a daily level. We feel like it's something very simple. That when you enter it, you're not being bombarded by complex tools or a whole suite of layers and data sets already sort of cluttering up. What you might just need is a single data set to view. So I'll go over the basics here first. So you can see we have our Add Data button, which we'll get to in a moment. We have our menu bar here up top. And the idea of the application was to make it really, really sleek and fast and build out as needed. And I'll explain that here. So you can see we have this menu bar up top that says download data. No data sets available for download. No raster analysis data sets available. And same thing with spatial search. So as we start adding in data sets that utilize those capabilities, these tools are going to start being built out. So just quickly, we have things like base maps we can change. We have, imagery-based map. We have OpenStreetMap. We have kind of your typical street map people use for base maps. We have a locate functionality here where you can create spatial bookmarks. So you can zoom into an area, add that as a bookmark. You can punch in some coordinates. You can also do some name searches, some geo name searches. So we're going to add some data in. Like Rod mentioned, this is kind of I want to show off a couple extra capabilities. So I'm actually firing up one of our internal instances. But I will show off one of the data sets that's in the trial. So you can page through the data sets that are available. We can sort, we can filter. So if I'm searching for Haiti, I can find the Haiti topographic map data set. What it's going to do is it's going to open up some data set capabilities, kind of tell us what is involved with this data set. So with this Haiti 1 to 25,000 scale topographic maps, this is actually a mosaic of scanned maps. And I think this was roughly 70 or so maps. So what we can do is we can do some searching of the data through the map, through the base map, and we can also view the full data sheets. We also have data set descriptions, data set properties. That's where things will have publisher information, years, dates, any type of mark record information that could be valuable. So we'll go ahead and click this button. We'll add the data set in. We'll hit OK. So now you can see our table of contents here. This menu on the left is being built out, and now Haiti is not in there. So you can click the zoom button. It'll take us to Haiti. You can see the mosaic. Actually, we'll view this over an imagery-based map. So because this is a mosaic of scanned paper maps, these are paper maps we received from the institution. We scanned them for them. We cropped them out, cropped out the marginalia, and then we mosaic them to make it a single mosaic data set here. With this data set, we can actually view the index over it. So if I zoom in a little bit, we'll start seeing the sheet names pop up. We can kind of view either or. We can just view the index, or we can view, you have to have one on, or we can just view the mosaic again. And then here we can actually get the list of all of the sheets included in this mosaic. If we click the zoom button, it will actually take us to that individual sheet if someone actually knew a sheet name that they wanted to navigate to. Or they could actually, what you can do is pop open a full sheet. So what I'll do is I'll pop open this sheet here. And this is where we were helping work with, we really want to help work with map libraries. Right, so maybe you have drawers just full of maps. They kind of run out of space, and just frankly storage-wise. And this is where East View felt that we could assist in the matter, and really kind of bringing the speed and data discovery to the table with using this platform to view these maps. So what we can do is we can view the full sheet here, which you can see is. I'll get out of this for a second. It's different than the actual mosaic. Mosaic is nice. You can view over the base map. We can actually adjust the transparency so we can see it over the base map. But we do lose things like legend, all that marginalia information. So with this mechanism, we can do it two ways. We can pop it open with this button here next to the sheet list, or using a spatial search, we can actually just click on the sheet itself if we know where we're looking, but we might not know the sheet name. We can view the full sheet. We can pop it open, and it's actually very quick. It's tiled and it's protected, and we can just kind of get right in here, view the sheet. But like I mentioned before, now we also have access to the legend. We have access to dates and scale bars and anything else. That really you'd lose out with over the mosaic, but you'd expect from the full sheets in the map library. So that was that's our example of scan. It's a raster data set, but really it's scan maps. So that's one of the ways we're trying to assist map librarians in that matter. Now we'll add in one of the other trial data sets is South Africa. So actually we have two mechanisms from which we can load in data. This one, which we showed before, is like if you know the name of the data set, you can very quickly navigate to it. But one of the requests we had was also if somebody is interested in a region, but maybe they don't know the data sets that are available for that region, this was a tool that was recommended to us, or a feature that was recommended to us, and we went ahead and thought it was a great idea and built it. So what this allows you to do is navigate to a region, and you can essentially just filter and find these data sets that are available. So you can see we have quite a few global data sets available, but the one I wanted to get to is the South Africa vector data. Okay, so that's here. We can see the capabilities of this also include searching through the map. This one includes a full legend for the vector data, and also includes data downloading. So we'll go ahead and we'll add that in there. We will take us over to South Africa, and we'll just kind of zoom into a region here. And so we can pop open the legend. So here's a list of layers included, and then we also have the legend, which will scale with the map itself. So as we zoom in here, the certain data layers are going to start to show up as they become relevant. Like contours aren't going to show up until you're at a skill level where you can really, frankly, decipher between them. And then the legend here will adjust to it. So since this is vector data, we can do things like query through the map. So we saw before all these top menu buttons were empty. Now that we have data sets that are capable, it's actually built out. So now this is downloadable data set. We can search by just hitting this big the upper button, but we can also pick individual layers to query on. So that's getting a little bit more GIS heavy. But for those advanced users or people that just become more and more familiar with the platform, this would be something that they could certainly take advantage of. So we'll just go ahead and search by point, line, and polygon. We'll search by a point, and it'll actually tell me what I'm searching on up here. It says, click on the map to search the South Africa vector data. I'll just click on a feature. This is going to go to the server. It's going to query the data and just bring me back the attributes that are included with whatever I've intersected with on my query there. So that's kind of the difference there between the vector data and frankly the scan maps. I will show off the download capabilities here quickly. So this is really how we're trying to help resolve data dissemination issues within libraries. So we know it's very difficult to kind of have a central location for people to access raw data, and also at the same time withhold, copyrights and publisher agreements. And this is where East View has lots of experience in this, and we want to help resolve this. So what we have here is your ability to, what Ryan Mackey mentioned previously in his quote was, if I'm a GIS user and I just want access to the data itself to run in my own models, I can hit this draw button, I can draw a nice big polygon over this area I'm interested in. I can pick and choose which areas or which data sets I'd like. And then I just have this download data where I punch in my name and my email here. I hit OK. And what that'll do is it'll actually process in the background, allow me to still use the application. And then when the process is complete our end, we send you an email. It's all automated, so you'll get an email with a link to your data sets. Which means you can save that data, you can reuse it, you can revisit that link when you need. So those are our two data sets there, scan maps and vector data. We can adjust, a little more GIS here, but we can actually adjust layers, on top of each other if we want one to be viewed on top of the other. We can also use this to remove layers as well. So one of the last ones I want to show off is one of our products is Landscan, which is a population data set. I think I'll load in the latest 2012. Okay. So land scan, same thing, search the map, legend, and this one actually includes raster analysis as well. Land scan is a global population data set, which really lends itself to raster analysis. So we can search on it. We can search pixel by pixel and get the values, which is an ambient population count for that pixel, which is a square kilometer in size. But this data set, one of the questions people are going to ask is, well, can I just draw a box around this area and get the population? So here, we're going to tell you the size. My size was roughly 6,000 square kilometers, and in that region I drew is about 3.5 million individuals. So very quickly, we can get quite a bit out of this data set just online. Didn't have to have any GIS software. Really didn't have to have any knowledge of GIS or really even this data set just to be able to figure out what the population is. And one of the nice things about this platform is you can stack layers, as we saw. So now we have Landscan. Actually, let's put it differently. We have Landscan 2010 there. I'll also put in Landscan 2000. So now I can take the same tool. I'll do Landscan 2000, and I can actually reuse that same area. So now it's going to run that same calculation on Landscan 2000, and now I can see within that 12-year time frame, that population of that area increased by 1.5 million individuals. So just very quickly, these are ways. What we're trying to do with this platform is really, open up your GIS data to your whole institution. So not just the GIS users, but also open access to the non-GIS users by letting them view the data, do some simple query analysis, through the scan maps, or even through our data discovery tool. We're trying to also open up your data and get more value out of it by allowing it to be discoverable. And then the other kind of the prong to this is the data dissemination, allowing it to be downloadable by full data sets or just clicking out your AOI. So I think that will pretty much wrap up my demonstration. And I'll hand it back over to Rod.
Let's see. Where are we at? We're about 30 minutes into this. We're rapidly approaching the question and answer session. Actually, that's literally where we are. So let's see. We showed all the different basic navigation, the different drop-downs, discover data, adding and removing data sets, mashing up data sets. So you just showed that at the end with multiple versions of Landscan. And then, you're going to have Botswana topographic raster, Botswana vector, Landscan raster. You could have parcel. I mean, all of that can exist stacked on top of one another for any given AOI that there's data over. We looked at viewing the full map sheets, which might be of particular interest to the map librarians and the users of printed maps, and then doing basic spatial and raster analysis. So one thing that we haven't said is what we're not trying to do with this platform is replace GIS software. Absolutely not. GIS software is going to continue to evolve and get stronger and stronger, and in some ways it's really revolutionized how geospatial data and content itself has been able to be manipulated. What this is it's a hosting, an access, a dissemination, a catalog, a download repository. I mean, you could name it any one of those things. But what it is not is GIS software. So it works in concert with those users that might be using GIS at your schools. All right. Well, thank you again for the time. We're going to go to questions here in a moment. Hopefully there are a few. I'll click open the box and see in a moment. But the next, really the next thing for you to do as a listener of this is, if this is intriguing to you at all, is just email us and ask for a trial. If we don't already have your IP ranges on file, which most institutions, at least in North America, we do because we sell them some Chinese or Russian or Arabic database. But if we don't, then we'll simply ask you for your IP range. And we're running trials. Originally, we were running trials for 2 weeks. We've now had enough requests that they be 4 weeks, that we're kind of as a default, we'll open them for 4 weeks. And let me see there. I'm going to try questions. Okay, we do have some questions. The user interface here is a bit goofy. I don't know. Can we pull the whole thing out? Oh yeah, okay. Sorry for the dead time here, folks. Here we go. Good. All right. So a question: can you host homegrown data? And so, you know, with the data questions, you know, most of it's going to sound a little generalized because that answer depends. We are creating for the January release the ability for you to upload like shape files, AOI files. I don't know that we've decided. In fact, I think we haven't yet decided the level to which will allow you at the institution level the ability to upload large data sets that then get permanently hosted on our server. We've got to work that out. And I think the way we'll be working that out is literally with some of the early adopters of the technology that are asking us to do things that we either haven't thought of or that we have thought of, but we're waiting for the next version. And so, you know, can you host homegrown data? I think the answer to that ultimately is going to be yes, but we haven't worked out the details of hosting homegrown data. On the other hand, if there is a data set, if you wanted to bring this platform on, and there's a data set that you hold right now that you want to be a part of the initial implementation. So let's say you say on October 1st, we really want this, and then we would come back to you and say, well, we can have it done for you in 30 days. And in that process of 30 days, we'd be asking you, okay, what data sets do you want to be as a part of your initial implementation? And of that $4,500, there is some component of that $4,500 is aimed at covering bringing some of your data online for you. We are not going to take all of the USGS maps and load all of those up as your initial instance. But if you have, you know, 100 sheet map series that the copyright and the licenses is sound, that's a you know, a number of map sheets that we would crop, mosaic, georeference, and mount on the platform for you as part of the initial implementation. So that's a long way of saying it depends. Let's see, you mentioned in a slide subscriptions. What type of subscriptions to data do you have? So right now, right out of the gates, we have 4 kinds of data, actually 5, that you could say, I want that, and that. Give me the price for that, and that, and we could turn on access to that, and that. And that is any of the land scans, any of the years of the land scans, the land scan archives, that whole family of products. The Carta Mira, which is, you know, it's talking about it's a 2.5 million scale cartographic production of the world. We've got Digital Globe, which, you know, some of you may know Digital Globe and GeoEye, which have been the 2 U.S.-based commercial satellite providers. They've merged, and we work with Digital Globe a lot on the commercial side, satisfying our commercial customers with satellite imagery and building digital elevation models and doing feature data extraction. So we worked with Digital Globe, and they were so excited that there was a company, and in this case us, that cared about the academic segment, because they as a company have believed that the academic segment would be very good for their product, and they get requests all the time for satellite imagery. And their pricing policies for academic, though, are still not, it's just not affordable. So Digital Globe, and I'll be releasing this next week, has, you know, basically put together a package of 25 areas of interest, 100 square kilometers per area of interest, and we're standing up a Digital Globe education package. So that's another one. Core Logic, which is like Pitney Bowes. I mean, that's the cheap competitor. Core Logic is a commercial entity. They also have no academic focus, and they were also extremely excited that a company like us wanted to bring their data to the academic segment. So parcel data, the entire United States. Ultimately, you'll be able to purchase that at the entire United States level, your state level, your metropolitan statistical area level, or just single county level. So parcel data, authoritative, fresh parcel data. And then finally, the other one that we have out of the box here is a 30-meter digital elevation model of the globe. A company in France has put together a very nice DEM of the globe, 30-meter, and they make it available to commercial entities and government entities. And there again, we're focusing on academics. So they put together a special pricing plan for academic for a global DEM. We will have others. I mean, we're going to have, I anticipate we'll be bringing on, a dozen or more core content relationships a year. But I think really the fruits of this initially sit right in your library right now. We can bring data to the equation, but you already have so much data that is not properly accessible, hasn't been transformed to sit on a platform. And I think the earliest fruits, honestly, beyond Landscan, which many of you have, is going to be on bringing some of your data, your unleveraged data, to the table. And by the way, when you bring a data set to, let's say, it's university, it's McGill University, and they have an interesting data set. When we take it on and we mount it to the McGill instance of the EVGeoCloud, it's not our data, it's still your data, and you're the only ones that have access to that data. We're not taking that data and opening access to anybody else. That would be, a terrible violation of any number of principles and laws. And so just know that when you're building your instance of the EVGeoCloud, it really is a custom view into what geospatial data matters to your institution. If you're in Pennsylvania, you might just want Pennsylvania parcel data. You could care less about California parcel data. Just goes down the line. The last question I have here that I'll answer like this is, can you talk through how users would update data sets upload data sets into the platform? This was like the first question. We are working on giving the library, the institution, the power to load data to their instance of the EVGeoCloud right now, and absolutely through the remainder of this calendar year, and probably all the way through to next fall. What this is if you have a data set, you work with your sales consultant at East View. We get the data FTP'd, we come and physically pick it up, you ship it to us, we mount it on your instance for you, and then your institution has access to it. This is not yet a portal for you to just start loading your data into at your institution. It has to go through East View at this stage. And so that's the answer to that question. Are there any other questions? No. All right. Well, then I'm gonna end this. Like I said, we will send around the PowerPoint to all the registrants, and those of you who attended and those of you who registered and didn't attend, as well as a link to the webinar. I'll be seeing you. Tony, Matt, myself, Scott will be seeing many of you throughout the year, whether it's at WAML or on a site visit. And at this stage, all I ask is you email us for a trial. And with that, adios. Thank you.